for some to join. So maybe let's take about 4 or 5 minutes to wait for them to also join us before we kick off. I hope that will not disturb us.
Okay, all right.
So once we so as we don't really get listen to music like this. So this is another time for us to relax ourselves and listen to what we want to do today. Thank you for your patience. it's really good to listen to it. Okay, we will start our session whilst we wait for others to join us later. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is tales of Gurenation on the Gurenɛ culture, language, and history. And this is actually our first episode. And your host today is me, Amarama Lecia. Our topic for discussion today is exploring the Farefari language in Damongo. Yes, exploring the Farefari language in Damongo. And before we start, I would like to say thank you all for joining us. And then welcome once again. Just sit, listen. And when it is time for questions, we'll all ask our questions and then we'll get answers for ourselves. We will learn a lot. I'm not here alone. We'll have one of our brothers as the guest for today, and his name is Daniel Akongson Akolugo, but we all know him as Asom. He was born in Bolga, Senroko, Kumbiligo. He completed his senior high school at Zamse Tech, which is just here, Bolga here, in 2012. He continued his education at the College of Languages, University of Education, Winneba, Ishmael campus to be precise. He studied Bachelor of Arts in Gurenɛ Education with linguistics. So we can equally call him a linguist for me, though. And then in 2021, he began his master's degree in the same university in Gurenɛ Education. Asom has experience in translation, interpretation, editing, proofreading, language material development, and research in the Farefari language. His thesis research was conducted in Damongo under the Damongo Documentation Project from 2021 to 2024. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite our guest for today, Mr. Asom, to join us. Let's welcome him, please. Hello, Mr. Asom.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Please, welcome to the program.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to first of all thank the Almighty for giving us life this day. I extend my sincere gratitude to the Gurenɛ Wikimedia Community team for giving me this platform to share with you what I've learned from the Farefari community in Savannah region, Damongo to be precise. I want to also thank my supervisors, Professor Avia Inso Ifrim, Dr. Atipoka, and Mr. Ababila for all that they've been doing for me. I hope they will join us soon, but currently they are in Accra for the Gurenɛ language enrollment drive.
Okay.
I would first of all like to share my screen with you so that we can take it from there.
Okay, okay. So those of us who would like to jot down things to enable us ask questions later, after he has finished talking or discussing with us, you can actually look into the screen and then have a look at his slides, what he will be discussing with us today, so that When everything is done, we can ask our questions. Thank you. Yeah, so whilst we wait for his listen, I just want us to know that if you have anything to say, now that we are muted, because sometimes there's always noise coming from the background, you can share your listing in case you have something to say. You can share it through the chat. You just chat us. It will prompt and then we'll get to know what you want to tell us. Maybe in case you can't hear us, in case you want to, yeah, just say something. You can go to a message box or the chat listing and share with us.
In the meantime, whilst we are working on it, our brother Asum would be getting to us shortly with his presentation. So whilst he's doing that, we're just configuring just a few technical issues here. We'll be looking at Felicia will be engaging you on the demographics of the Damongo community. And as she rightly mentioned, it's in the savannah. So while she's engaging you on that, we'll be working around the background on the technical issue with our brother Asum. So we move on speedily into his presentation today. So whilst we're doing that, if you have an input, you have a question that is building up, we could work around that. But in the meantime, we'll be preparing some documents to engage you shortly. And then we'll also be looking at engaging you on the presentation by Asum.
Okay, I hope you can get it now. Hello?
Yes, loud and clear.
Are you with?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can now
Can I? Okay. Yeah, the study was a sociolinguistic survey of the Farefari dialect in Damongo. And I'm going to deal with the following outline. That is the introduction and background of the study. The data analysis will be based on the language use, language attitude, and language vitality. Then I'll deal with the finding, conclusion, and then recommendation for whatever that needs to be done. The study conducted in Damongo was a sociolinguistic survey of the Farefari in that particular region. And it was to investigate how the Farefari use the language and their attitude towards it, taking into consideration the vitality of the Farefari dialect in that municipality. And Farefari is a Mabia language spoken in the Upper East region of Ghana, according to ISO 1997, 2002, 2011, and I think 2013, and Damongo 2007 and 2018. Naden and Cipher 1973 dialect survey and Damongo 2007 concluded that Farefari has 5 main dialects, such as Gurenɛ, Boni, Nankani, Napt, and Taunt, that are mutually intelligible. However, Naden 1988 and 1989 has a different view that Taunt and Napt are different languages altogether and not dialect of Farefari. Now, out of these 5 dialects, some of them decided to move away to stay in the Savannah region. That's West Gonja municipality, to be precise, which is about 288 kilometers away from Bolga. And according to researchers, Gonjas belong to the Kwa language branch of the Niger-Congo family tree of Guans and spoken by Gonjas in the Savannah region of Ghana, according to all 2010. The indigenous name for the people is Ngbaya, that is the plural form, and Kagbaya in a singular form. And the language they speak is called Ngbaya 2. And according to Afarataku, Gonja has 3 main dialects. That is Ashongi Chobi, Abutobi, and Indompo. And the Savannah region is divided into 7 districts, such as Boli, Central Gonja, North Gonja, East Gonja, Swala, West Gonja, and Northeast Gonja. And the Farefari dialect is situated in the West Gonja district, now a municipal. This is the location of the Farefari in the Gonja land. Looking at the distance between Upper East and then the Savannah region, you realize that Farefari is part of the Gu languages, and then Gonja is part of the Kwa languages. And as I said it earlier on, the distance from Bolika here to Savannah region takes about 288 kilometers to get there. And currently, we don't have a straight car going there. You have to pass through Tamale before you can get there. Now, the most interesting thing is that upon all this distance that we can talk of, the Farefari young guys in Damongo can ride motos from that place to Bolka and go back without any complaint because they know what they are doing. The Farefari settlement number 1 was the first settlement to get to Damongo, and it was resided in the place called Canteen. And they used to call these people or the community Ayakampo because they believe that they moved from Bolka, where we call Aya Da. So they used to call them or the community Ayakampo. And the group was led by 3 people, which are Baba Agana and Baba Adungu. Both of them were from Gambigo, and Mr. Peter Abilmo Ademolka from the Putindongo. And when they got there, there were only 3 Bonje houses located in their area, in the canteen side that I was talking of. Frafra number 3, I said it earlier on that they are from settlement number 1 up to settlement number 6. So they went there settlement after settlement. So after settlement number 1, settlement number 2 followed by 3, 4, 5 up to the last one, which is settlement number 6. And settlement number 3, it was Awongiadungo and Awimbila Charles, who was their leader, leaders. And the Agambibigodongo was the entertainer as they moved from Bolaka here to their current location. He used to sing for them as they move there. And the moment they got there, everybody was given 24 acres of land to farm in order to take care of the family. And this 24 acres of land was 12 for farming and the other 12 known as water course. And then the first people to settle in settlement number 6 were Ayaro, Atamina, Azato, and Adayele. And they've appointed Mr. Ayele Pakre as their first chief for the Frafra settlement. This study was a foundation of a larger documentation project that intended to be carried out in the Damongo from the year 2021 to 2024. And this project was planned by my supervisor, as I mentioned earlier on, Professor Avia and Dr. Atipoka. The theoretical framework that I used for this work was the ethno-linguistic vitality theory, which was proposed by Gals et al. 1977. They defined the vitality as that which makes a group likely to behave as a distinctive and active collective entity in an intergroup situation. And they consider 3 factors that you have to look at in order to declare that a particular language group is either vital or not vital. And these factors are the demographic factors and the institutional support factors. So if you are talking of the status factors, you are talking of their standing, their economic status, talk of their language status in the place. And the demographic factors talks of the distribution, the number, the total number of that particular group of people in their location. And then the institutional support factor deals with the support that they are getting from the government in order to help them sustain their whatever that they need for survival. And then the methodology was, the design was a mixed method, and I targeted the native speakers of Frafra in Damongo using a sample, a convenient sample, and then a snowball. A convenient in the sense that we only needed people who were available and ready to provide data. And after getting those people, they have to direct you to where you can get another person to interview. And at the end of the interview, I contacted 88 people, which made up of 37 males and 51 females. And the age range from 15 to 66 years and above. And the data was purely primary. And then the research side was the Farefari speaking community. And I use a Kobo Collect as my data collection instrument. And this is a software that you download online. It is easy to handle, easy to manipulate, and then you can keep data or information in it as long as you need it, and it will still be accessible to you anytime you are in need of it. The language used, when we're talking of the language, we are dealing with how the language is spoken, the domains in which the language is spoken, who speak the language, when and where they speak the language. And looking at the domains that we are dealing with, we can have the home as a domain, we can have a community as a domain, we can have a workplace as a domain, we can have media as a domain, we can have a school as a domain, and we can have marketplace as a domain. And we are looking at the home domain, the language that the respondents use with their children indicate that they depend so much on the Farefari than any other language that you can think of. Considering 72, making 81.8% saying that they speak Farefari to their language, but none of them say they use Gonja. And those who use English were only 1%, making 1.1%. And then the parent here, I wanted to find out from them the language that they were using, the language that they spoke with their parents when growing up. And then most of them, or majority of them, say they speak or they use Farefari throughout. And we can have about 85 out of the 88, making it 96.6% saying that they use Farefari. And none of them said they use Gonja. And the same thing applied to English. And then those who use it, according to the respondent, with their spouse, you are talking of the spouse here, I'm dealing with the respondent's wife or the respondent's husband. And majority of them agree that they speak Farefari to their spouses. In Farefari, that is what they use. None of them said Gonja nor English. And then those who speak it with their children, they are 66, making it 75%. Yes, the parents speaking the language to their children is a clear indication that there is an intergenerational transfer of the language from one generation to the other. And that makes the language more stable. And I'm trying to agree that the language is maintained. It is not shifting because the parents are making or putting up their best to educate their children, to make sure that the children have the background of the language and they do everything using the Farefari language. I go to some extent that somebody impressed me saying that anytime he's with the children at home, except that maybe other friends of their children come home maybe to play and they are speaking their English language, that one he has no problem. But seeing or listen to them speaking any other language is always not happy. And then none of his children will make an attempt to do that in his presence. That shows that they have much value for their language. And at a community level, 95.5 say they use or they speak Frafra among themselves in the Frafra community. So it means that Frafra to Frafra, they speak Frafra. They don't speak any other language just because they understand it. They still maintain their mother tongue, and that is what they use in the community. And then the workplace, that one, it's used mostly. And we have about 64.8 saying that they use Frafra. And the place that takes them away from their language is the market or the school. Because at that place, maybe they come into contact with different group of people coming from different language background. So they normally resort to any language that is convenient, that is comfortable for them all to handle. So they use it for business purpose in order to satisfy maybe the buyer or the seller or the one they are interacting with. The media, I wanted to find out whether the language is used in the radio stations or TV stations. As for the TV stations, it wasn't even existing. But the radio station, it was happening, but not all that regular. But those who said it is happening, they were about 63.6% saying that it occurred either twice a week or once a week. And that is what happened. And in school, mostly, because they are in a different language ground, they use English. And if they need if they need a vernacular or the local language to help the children understand a concept clear, maybe they use the Gonja. You hardly hear them speaking the Frafra. Just that those few that are coming from the Frafra settlement, those that are far away from the main town of Damongo, and there are schools closer to that place, and those that understand the Frafra language that use the Frafra to explain if there is a need for them to do so. And then looking at the language used here, the language that the parents, they use it with their children, you can see from this graph indicating that there is a high value placed on the Frafra language. And that is the same thing apply to the language they use with their spouses. On the children, we have the 72, making it 81.8%. And then those use it with their spouses. We have the 69, making it 78.4. That means that they still maintain the language and use it as it is supposed to be. The language attitude is the area that we are looking at the behavior of the native speakers towards their language. Taking for instance, there are times you see somebody because of the location or where the person found himself or herself, and because of the environment, the person feels shy to speak his or her own language. And that is a bad attitude that we can talk of here. But here is the case, the Frafras in Damongo have express a positive attitude towards their language, indicating that because of the value they have for it, they visit home with their children to undertake cultural activities, and whatever thing that they need to do, they do it at home with their children and go back. And the same thing that people move from Bolka here to that place to perform certain cultural activities and come back. And despite their exposure to many languages, they have not abandoned their own language. They still speak it. They still speak it. And they want the language to be maintained because they believe that that's their root, that's their culture. They can't do anything, they can't leave it for any other language. And because of their many in Damongo, they even want their language to take root down and bear fruit upwards. Because they believe that that is their identity. And they can't leave it for any other language. So they want it to be maintained or sustained. And not only that they want the language to be sustained, but they want their children to be taught how to read and write in the Frafra language. Some parents express the feeling that if they have the opportunity to be educated in the language, they'll be happy. But it's like they have not gotten that opportunity to do so. So they are just dependent on speaking it and speaking to their children, and wish that if there is any way out that their children can learn it and know how to write it, they'll be happy for that.
Okay.
Looking at those who say
Daniel,
yeah.
Before we move to the language attitude side, there's something I want to ask before we go on. You see,
Okay.
they speak it to their children, they speak it with their spouses. You mentioned that somebody even said if he miss the child speaking another language, which is not Gurenɛ or Farefari, the person doesn't feel happy. So about in bang,
That is
that day baka won so me be baka won la gonja to se umbu blele sote bako ba to gon la ba be int bako to gon na ka to language bana bo araba ko la ba sirwa la po bana maka ba ora yang so ko ba be dere baka kinga suku ta to so me be
yeah.
be ba ka won la gonja to la so ba ma gi to see
Right? Except those that are at their 60 upwards, 7 pack kama yung PO bigesonala. Most of them are monolinguals. So it means that they speak one language.
okay.
Frafra or Gurenɛ. They don't understand any other language. That they have for their own, they don't want children to be deviated to them how to use the language, how to speak the language, and how to keep the culture in Damongo. They want bakwamala hanta, bama hanta telilizuo dare kwamala tan so batokona me tan zalabo wo la narsila. Not that they don't understand English or they don't understand Gonja. Others speak Frafra, they speak English, they speak Dagari, they speak Hausa, and many other languages. But they still want their language to be maintained. And that is what they are inculcating in their children.
Okay.
I don't know if they are getting me right.
Yes, we do understand. It doesn't mean they can't understand other language or they can't speak other languages. They can speak other languages. But they want the Gurenɛ language, the Farefari language, to be sustained. That is in Damongo community.
Yeah.
If you just join us, you are listening to tales of Gurenɛ heritage, our people, our culture, and our language. So if you just join us, you're welcome. We're talking about the people, our people who have left here to live in Damongo, how they treat the language. Do they speak it? Do they speak it to their children? Are they proud that they can speak the language? And how do they feel towards the language?
Can we continue?
Okay. Before you move on, Mr. Daniel, I want to ask something. You know, they speak the language all right, but are they proud to be called Farefari if they are mixed up with others? Are they proud to be called Farefari? Apart from they just speaking with their people, when they go out, are they proud to be called Farefari? Like, but behind it, they Farefari. Lana Annabella one. Did you bother to inquire about that one? Hello. Hello, Mr. Daniel. Well, before we have him back, I just want us to know why we are using English language at this moment. Yes, they never father want to it. This is about all father. Again, I thought so meaningful. Well, the day mangre. Gay son of in the seven lakh no. Say Mukawona. Fafarla. Trying to go to a father throughout and my tank and bucket. Balance or tea. The thought of soul meaning. Aha. Bass what need to get good like that. Meeting up on that for my movie. So say 100 and Kawona. Fafarla. Laka ano I use it medini. Balance the thought soul meaning. Okay. Let me see if he's back. Okay. He's not back yet. So at this point, let's see if there's any. Okay. Mr. Daniel is back. Yes. Hello, Mr. Som.
Yeah.
We lost you.
I'm with you.
Sorry. Okay. Did you hear my question?
Come again.
Yes, I was asking. You know, you can speak the language, but are you proud that you are from that community? Are you proud that you are a Farefari?
Okay.
But I thought about ba community la poala. Ba han kita ger ke nere ko la poha gonjar mala poha nere ko ngese. Bani wanya me yu otomade Farefari. Be nere haiti ina de Farefari. Lana ana bala wan. Bani fealty na in okay be bani bit la de vi tingere Farefari indi.
I really want to jump into that because there is a slide ahead of us on that one that will talk about how they feel speaking the Farefari
talk about that one
in the presence of other languages. But I bet you, based on my observation and experience in Damongo and the 88 respondents that are interviewed, none of them said he was feel bad speaking the language in the presence of other languages. They say they feel normal because they see it to be their own, that is their language, that their identity. They don't see anything wrong speaking it. Others say they feel great. Others say they feel prestigious because it is their language. And even to the extent that the non-Farefari speakers want to learn how to speak the Farefari. And that makes them more proud of it. And not only speaking the language alone, but anytime they're in church, the other speakers want them to sing for them. I bet you there is a Catholic priest in Damongo, is a Farefari. He narrated everything about this to us. At times when it's getting to dry season like this, the Farefari has a cultural group that they normally organize annually to go to the chief palace to sing and dance. And the other languages or the dominant language are admiring it. And the wish is continue every year. So the Farefari are proud of it. That is, it is their language, it is their culture, it is their identity. And there is nothing that can take them away from it.
Okay.
I think I'm done.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, please, is that all, or there's something you still want to add?
Are you talking to me or somebody?
I'm talking to you, please. I'm asking if there's something you still want to add, or that is it.
If you are okay, we can move. I think there are more we have to do ahead of us.
Okay.
And I think you have a lot
somebody just asked a question.
Okay.
He said before that, this is from Akul Parker to us. He said, before I forget, Mr. Sum made mention of Farefari wishing their children to be educated on the language Farefari. So my question is, since Gurenɛ is not a course subject to be taught in basic school, can they send their work straight to EEW Damongo campus to learn it? Or how are they to acquire it? Or teaching and learning of Farefari is ongoing in Damongo? She's asking if it is ongoing in Damongo. Are they teaching it there? If they are not teaching Farefari there, can they just go straight to Damongo to learn it?
There was a question on that, whether there is a literacy in the language in Damongo.
Okay.
Yes, they responded that no, formally, there is nothing. It was once a non-formal education that somebody came around to organize for them. And the parents were enjoying it, though they were advancing in age. We couldn't even permit them to attend the classes, but they were enjoying, they were trying all that they could. But it got to a point that maybe job opportunity took the person away from them. And they were now like, if they have gotten the opportunity to learn, they can do. And then they responded, pleaded that if there is any way out that we can help them, we should help them get a Gurenɛ teacher in their community so that they will learn and know how to write their own language. That they have not gotten the opportunity, but if they have gotten the opportunity to start it from scratch, I think they'll be happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so apart from now, like I want to talk about her senior high school because Damongo campus in December. Talk about senior high school. And in I would say you go and learn. Whatever somebody is a teacher, we learn it there. That is what we learned. So we shouldn't think that going to Damongo is just to go and learn only Gurenɛ. We'll learn the Gurenɛ all right. We'll start from the basics and we'll really learn a lot because it's a 4-year course and not only in Gurenɛ. So maybe the people in Damongo, what they can do, I don't know if there'll be a solution. But I'm only thinking now, as it is now, maybe they just have to, when they finish senior high school, then they'll go to Damongo and then add it up. Okay.
Okay, let me add something to what you are saying.
Okay.
Though your line wasn't all that clear to me, but what I'm trying to understand you is that you are talking of the Gurenɛ not being taught at the basic level, and before anybody can learn it, the person has to complete senior high before he can proceed to the tertiary level to do it. For now. But let me tell you, the Gurenɛ has been approved.
Yes.
Just that they are now trying to put things together and to make it live in schools.
Sure.
I bet you, I don't think it will take us more than 2 or 3 years for us to start writing at the BEC level, WASI level. Everything has been done.
Okay.
There is now left with the what? The starting. And
Okay.
I bet you last year, government didn't open a basin for recruitment for graduates. This year, the same, that's 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
People have gone to the tertiary or the university to study the course. They've come home, they have not been employed. How are they going into the system to teach? That is what they are now waiting for to be done. The moment the portal is open for recruitment, I think the Goni products will now know very well that they are hot cakes in town. I'm telling you.
Sure.
So it is the same thing that these people were pleading, that we should help them get, if we get the opportunity to help them, if we have the opportunity to help them, we should help them know how to read and write the language. And it's something that we're also planning to see what we can do. The moment the opportunity is given, I think teachers will be posted there to also help those people. Because there are many, about from one settlement to settlement number 6. There are many there. There are many there.
Okay.
So even if you are taking about 10 teachers there, it will not be enough for them. It will not be enough for them. So now Gurenɛ is not to wait till you get to the tertiary level, but it is now in the curriculum.
Basic.
It is now in schools. Just that they are lacking the teachers, the Gurenɛ teachers. That is what is preventing it from being what taught in the schools. But if they get the teachers, every school, every headmaster is crying for a Gurenɛ teacher to be posted to their school to take the course up.
Yes.
And I think those who want to do that course have the opportunity to apply now and not to wait for another time.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to add up to what you just said. When I came to do my internship, our head teacher was really crying for a Gurenɛ teacher, as you said. As we speak now, we have 2 schools here who are looking for a Gurenɛ teacher to come and be with them. So we, those who have gone to do Gurenɛ, we have our certificates. All those who are out and they have been lamenting, let's just calm down for now. I'm sure, like he said, it won't be long. We'll be running up and down to even look for more teachers. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Song. And thank you all for being here with us. I don't know if we have this thing. Okay, time for questions and answers. If you have any question, you just prompt us. You raise your hand and then we'll give you the chance to ask. Questions and answers. All that we have discussed. If you have something to ask, if you are not clear with something, you let us know, please.
So sorry to interrupt, but I think I realized Mr. Song had some few things he wanted to add from his slides, and I think I was taking notes, so I wanted to know what was left with some of his slides, if that's okay by him.
Okay. Okay, whilst he's delivering, if somebody has a question, we can raise our hands and then we'll address it. So, Mr. Sum, kindly continue for us. We are enjoying. We don't want it to stop.
Thank you very much for that one. The vitality of the Gurenɛ language in Damongo, according to Gals et al. 1977, this claim that there are 3 factors that you have to take into consideration before you can conclude that the language is vital or not vital, or the language is high, medium, or low. And these factors are the demographic factors, status factors, institutional support factors, as I said it earlier on. But these studies, my focus was to see how the people are capable of speaking their own language, the opportunity they have to maintain the dialect in Damongo, and their desire to use their own language wherever they found themselves. And the capability is the ability to express yourself well in your language without wondering. And that is what is happening in Damongo. I was thinking that once they've moved there over 70 years or so, and then the distance from here to that place, I was thinking that it will not be easy for them to come home and go back. So they don't have any link with the communities in which they migrated from. But these people surprise me that even the young ones ride motor from Damongo. You imagine the distance, about 288 kilometers from that place to Bolga and back. I'm telling you. And they are doing it, and they are speaking it. Parents are speaking it. Children are doing same. And even to the extent that I go to some place, was first settlement number 3, and one senior high graduate, or maybe he was still in school, organized extra class for his siblings, and he could explain points in the Gurenɛ for the children to understand him better. I was surprised. I was thinking that maybe they will find it difficult to do, but it is like most of the interaction were done in the Gurenɛ language. And they have the opportunity to speak the language day in, day in, day out, from morning to evening. I bet you, except now that Farefari settlement number 1 and 6 are situated in the main town of Damongo, but the remaining 4 are far away. You have to walk through the forest before you can get to the Farefari. So if you are going there and they tell you there is a community there, you won't believe. So they are there, they could be there for a week, and they will not have any opportunity to interact with any other non-Farefari speakers. So the opportunity is available for them, and the desire is galore. So they don't have any fear speaking it. So they speak it the way they want it to be done. And this shows that the language is vital. They use it, they speak it, and then they can manipulate it. I got to a point where a Dagari lady married a Farefari man. So I wanted to find out from this lady, okay, you say you speak many languages, including Farefari and Dagari. And the Farefari and Dagari, they are the language that you can speak well, you understand better. Which of the two can you say you understand it better than the other? And this lady told me, what is your problem? Last time that the guy be lady left from what and came la. I was shocked. But that is what is happening there. That it doesn't matter whichever language she wants to speak, he can manipulate them the way she wants to. So that shows that the language is vital. It's vital. And looking at this one, I wanted to also find out whether there are some threat of ejection from the natives of Damongo. If I say threat of ejection, you are threatening them that if you joke, you will leave here, or sack you or something like that, something that is threatening their life or they are staying there. That is it. But those who say no were the majority, looking at 74 saying no, making it 84.1%, saying no, there is no any threat on them by the dominant language. They interact well when they come together, and there is no problem. And the only problem they face is the Fulani herdsmen. That is their problem. That is the problem. And then the support that they were getting from government during Nkrumah regime, that is what they are not getting now. But they don't have any threat of ejection from them. And as I went further to find out their feelings, speaking the Farefari, yes.
Yeah, I want to remind our people again, if they have questions, they can raise their hands to ask, because our time is far spent. So we need their questions and answers. But could you please go to your findings? Let's go to your findings and recommendations. So that
is it all. Okay, so the finding, at the end of it all, I realized that the Farefari dialect was one of the first ethnic groups to settle in Damongo, as I stated it earlier on, that when they got there were only 3 houses of Goinjes situated at Canteen. And the moment the Farefari came to settle, they named that community Ayakampa. So it means that it was, it is not easy to say it was the first ethnic group, but it was one of the first ethnic group to settle in Damongo. And by the time we went there for this work, most of the first settlers has already dead and gone. Those who said yes, they were the first, were those that they carried during their infancy to the place. But the actual people who went there from this place, like Baba, Adono, Agambiruko Dono, Awonge Adono, and all that, they are no more in life. And the mainstay of the Farefari in Damongo is farming, that's agriculture. It was the reason that they were moved to that place, and it was the farming that motivated them to stay in Damongo up to now. I bet you, when we go to Farefari settlement number 2, and a respondent narrated to us how they suffered before they conquered the land. That when they got there, the place was just busy, so they had to clear the land, make tents for their wives and children to stay, and in the night, they have to be beating drums in order to scare animals away. You know, Damongo is elephants community. So they used to move from Farefari settlement number 2 and 3 across to Farefari settlement number 4 and 5 and back. So if they don't play the drum to scare those wild animals away, they couldn't have a decent to sleep. So they had to play drums during the night in order to scare those wild animals away. And the one problem that they are facing is the poor yield from their farms, worsened by the lack of government support and the threat of the Fulani herdsmen. That is their biggest problem that they are facing now. For the Fulani herdsmen, they sow their crops, and then their animals will go and consume everything. So at the end of it all, they have nothing to take home. That is their biggest problem. And this is gradually compelling them to look for other forms of livelihood outside their settlement. And then, because of this, Others are running away from the settlements that are far away from the main town to Damongo town in order to look for other jobs that can help them survive in the municipality. And because of this one, to the support that they are not getting from the government, maybe the farming is now a problem. And they are finding it difficult to continue doing the farm work. And then they use the Farefari in almost all the domains. And then the home domain is considered as the basic domain that the language is used. And the Farefari speakers in Damongo, they still speak the language as it is spoken in the Upper East here. And then they want their children to be taught how to read and write the language in school. And most of them speak more than 6 languages, because it's most especially those are in settlement number 1 and settlement number 6. These settlements are situated in the Damongo township. So they are exposed to many languages, and then they learn how to speak in both young and old. That is what is happening there. And though the language is not endangered, the pressure from other languages, and then they are, because of they're not getting support for their farm work, they are now trying to shift towards the other languages, including the Gonja. The basic amenities in the Farefari communities is the lack of water and electricity. Apart from settlement number 1 and settlement number 6, and part of settlement number 4.
Mr. Daniel. I think our time.
Okay.
We are enjoying, but our time wouldn't allow us. We have hands raising. We have Akaziri and David, and then Akolpaka raising their hand. Okay. Okay, Mr. David, and then route 2. Mr. David, imbenemo tanso kwenye to soke salaya. Anadene, tanso kwenye to soke sala.
All right. So I don't know what because so let the talk of Farefari Solmini in the question.
I
don't know what. Hello. My question, Ladilaya.
Hello. Okay. Your network
So my question is like more than chocolate group la. Network local. Oh. Then button type.
Okay. Then the next person. We had Akolpaka whose hand was raised. Papa was I can know. Hello. Okay, Miss Ruth. About Paka Wimbotma. Was I can know you?
Yeah. So thank you very much, and then thank you, Mr. Daniel. Thank you for the presentation. But I think I had a few questions. I don't know whether you addressed them, because my network at some point wasn't good. So I'd want to ask what made the people move there? What was the drive that made them move all the way from Bolga to Damongo, which is, you can't as you mentioned earlier, that the distance between those two is vast. And also, I wanted to ask that are the parents tracing back their lineage back to the people in Upper East, or they are starting their own lineage, or lineage with the people who brought them there? And then my question would be that in case of the child is grown and is going to get married, in the terms of a lady, do they go back to what do you call the mainland, which is Upper East, to do all the traditional things that need to be done, or they stay in Damongo and do all the traditional things they have to do, or they go back home to Bolga to do everything? Yes, those are my 3 questions. Thank you.
Okay. But it's like your second question wasn't clear because your network wasn't all that clear for me. So if Amorama can help me get that one.
Okay, I can. So I was asking if the children still they still traces their lineage back to the people of Upper East, or they see themselves as people who belong to the Gonjaland, like people from Damongo, but they just speak the language Farefari, or it's just that they still trace their lineage back to the people of Bolga.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, if you want to find out the factors that cause them to move from Upper East to Savannah region, yeah, it was farming. It was farming. It was during Nkrumah regime that he got to the place, and it's like the Gonjes were hunters. They had no time for farming activities, but there was a vast land lying down there. And Nkrumah realized that there are people in Upper East region who are really farmers, and then they need land to also farm, which they are not getting in Bolka here. So he decided to come and pick them from here to that place because of the farming. The other school of thought added that there was one chief called Yagbonwura Owusu, who was hello.
Yes, because of our time, I'll plead that you answer brief, because someone is already on standby.
Okay, so it was the farming that caused them to move to that place by Nkrumah. That is it. Then the activities that they perform, yeah, most of them are performed there, and those that are supposed to be performed in Bolka here, they bring them home to do. Because not everything, even some of their funeral rites, at some they do it there, others they have to bring it to Bolka here to perform and go back. And though that they perform there, people move from Bolka here to join them there to do whatever that need to be done and come back. And the same thing applies to the children marriage.
Okay. Ruth, please, are you answered? Yes, Akotaka, can you please ask your question so that we will go on?
Somebody is prompting you something.
Yes. Okay. But I was considering the time, because if it is time, it's online, it will cut off on its own. Meanwhile, there will be other things we need to attend to. Maybe we will need to bring us something else, and then we won't be able to because of the time. That's why I'm I'm pushing on for the questions and the answers. That is why I said, if you don't get anything, you ask. We are still waiting for this guy's question. He said he would type it. He didn't type yet. He hasn't.
Yeah, somebody is asking the question.
Okay,
Let me see whether
it's here. His question is, who were your target group for this study? If you could share briefly the socio-demographic, wow. Socio-demographic characteristics of the participants. And then the next question is, what research approach did you employ this study? Was it quantitative approach or qualitative? He repeated quantitative, but I think he wants to.
Yeah, the person wants
mixed
to be
method
clear.
Approach.
Okay. my target group was the Farefari speakers in Damongo. And I picked 88 respondents. I used mixed method for the work. And it was the Farefari speaking community that I focused on in Damongo, nothing else. I went through all the 6 settlements that are there. And what informed my choice of the Farefari in Damongo? I think I stated this one earlier on, that the earlier researchers focus on the 5 main dialects in Bolika here, but they've not paid attention to the one in Damongo, and no linguistic attention has been paid to that particular group of people over there. And as a language, we're not supposed to act as if we are forgotten of it. So I wanted to follow them there to find out what is happening there. How is the language moving on? Is it shifting? Are there changes? Is the language maintaining, or it is rather dying there? That is what made me went there. And this was influenced by the Damongo documentation project worked. As I mentioned it earlier on, which was planned to take place from 2021 to 2024. And this is a survey that we did just to find out what is happening before we can go deep. So this work was just like the first man in the girl's life. That is it. It's to open way for other research work to be conducted in the municipality, Damongo. I think I'm done.
Yeah, so he was asking why it was done in Damongo. Why Damongo and not Tamale, not Kumasi, but you decided to go to Damongo?
Hey, I think I've answered him. Yeah, there are so many areas, not only Tamale or wherever that you are mentioning, but there are other places that Frafaris are there that I could also focus my attention on. But we can't do everything at a time. We can't do everything at a time. So we have to take them one at a time. If this one is done, maybe another person can also decide. As I'm doing it in Damongo, you can also decide to go and do it in Kumasi. Another person can also decide to go and do it at Côte d'Ivoire and wherever that you think Frafaris are there. I think it's just the matter of choice and your plans, or where your mind is driving you to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, have we unmuted Akulpaka? Akulpaka said, so our technician, please, Akulpaka wants to talk.
Where are you?
Yes, I know later higher.
Number.
Sasu ta patinga sawa be ya tuma. Brother Dan, no father.
Para den yende ne.
Gesala tinko etina ka to ageti ya pong manon kan pong le de la. Ntendo mambo ni sokurela. Roda ni eti zudana boyo otoba zamara. Deba na mala gono ko ba na bo tigre la gono dete yam pohe. Were yuma yi ata. Nkama na won songa na won yese le songa. Aha. So bilela man ko zia wa man tori. Man tori de mana biele ti ba ma zan wa abdela. Tininga do mala ba pokol ne teme da gonin ka bu. 2021 ma internship la kantie ya. Mr. Patrick adoko tala slide ka seka ya culture zo bob me. Dik English grammar za wa mandata king ya. Then seka min punde na good product da na ma mentor nda vagon karsia wa anabo matima zana la mada ko giram. Why ti ba bo yo otre tara gon ba mala zamara bi la fifi de gureti gon sabata ba yeti ba England nta wana. Tu le na la Pona ing sala de kataran practice re fifi ya kataran tuna honin tamia. Ma mentor lambo bila sala ta da ita bora mandela man prepare lesson note la ta bihe ba to ya be ba kato. Da pun kan yang le kan alba vo le ya. So mi ti 2 to 3 years kina ndan man pa Wikipedia po makela ta ne sala tin le ingwang po le ya because ma mi et man ba an sukumi. Ta certificate la admin ti ba yo mata ana lan kina batelete akol poka kinke haka zamhe yetin len ye Patrick adukla bebe HOD ko avion sort mal be tole wa adik ma go through ye lasia getin ya po zamha so to me mami et ma zizia kata to mo le den tininga mala ba saba geda Ghana governor le ye ha ba mistake ma ko zura kwa yok makapa mana ba hatu wa kinka yo ma biko mat kata tune mami nani tin tuna ba this time Gonna get a chow, bon, get a hang to go and gobble at his zame. Meet you at an engine let our nigga son, Mataka tear on the table back. Like brother. You're gonna get a chow, man. I need to boost the Sabazozo to bamboo Nesri boost with Boa, Noa, Yes.
Sugri.
Mamitia.
Yeah, Mr. Dan. Mati itin bele me yet ya. Mben yema. Itin bele me. Te to ye ble baba yel mengre.
No, media.
Ma isi questions la. So te soki sala te Mr. Dan present wa. Mben tuma. Ana ba to sa na to. Mben tuma. Ko paka. Mintu ba ko tin yile sewa.
Ma we
Sugru.
Betira sala te bon ko le pa ti me de gon bo me.
Sugri.
Ko pa ti me de gon ko ba.
Sister.
Sugri.
Yela. Akul paga sela ya. Akul paga. Akul paga kilima.
Ma kele de
Mami ti ma yelna maka porne gon yoro meti bana manme yera la ba wana en la damen ka boy yo to ba ke palba so ba ka rek bo palba ba pa yo to ba ke palba la si ya ba ka en dona yo no ba ka len yo ma yi ba la ba ka boy yo to ba ke palba so ba me ren boy yo to ba zama ge ba ka de ke ba ka boy yo to ba en ba la ne ba zama e god na me ge yina era kamine be to ba en sama no bonta ya yo fi maso Joseph akum yore mbala arho bonnezu aba maza wa bi yeme mboke ko e ba konta yake data bona tata atata data pa alle solmi mboke ya
so lana ana sunga tu zana fa zana zakin ka bona mu po zana sol mini ge to yibi bona yidina ta ba zama fa la mikin ninga
so inga ta wanta Afrika ta ya yo siala ba kan dike te kan bo ba ke pa alba so te kamala ne bini tare na sale de tanga da ma material yele ka pa abini mbene me zo ba te ba ya bila
yes mbene ba tan kana ma wonta ya ti ba han you portal la ayenna bala aha kan ti ba han ni ti ba han you portal la so that is answered ba han you portal la te li kara yo ka bana bini te sama li kara yo han bana te se ha yang yo kita sa ha bini li kara yo han le ka bana bini Tisawa ba hanke bini kitaza. Sugri. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are listening to Tales of Growing Heritage. And that's never the thing. We'll continue it. There are so many topics that we'll be discussing. So many topics. That go on to ma. The Burma yellow zuzu to what I discuss. So discuss as time goes on. So the 700. Thank you very much. Mpozozo zanorwa. La tinyang join nyang kill higizam yelsia. Para te Damongo tinga ha. Never mbublela hafama mbublela. Akaba be toronda. Okozana toronda bala. They have not left the language at all. They speak it, they teach it to their children, and they even wish that they have Gurenɛ teachers coming to teach their children from basic level so that the language will not diminish. It is a lesson for us, we those in Bulgaria here, that our students who close from school and come, they say, what did Madam say? How are you? Stop crying. That's not we should stop it now. The talk, Gurenɛ, be Farefari, go Komala. This time will come on Tinga. Is it Maraha Farm? Get Mary Cambo. Be take Cambo Ganato. To my hat of farmer. That's it. Baby, it made to make one and nerbala. Today, nerva pa, or someone come someone Accra, Toro Tolbo or BB. I had a pan. I can't animal a you. Totally, I want Tasura. 20 at the same time. One other side left that level up. Who have a buku to Ukabuku Zilizana. Umabuku Zilizana, my be of Borkambala. So it is a Salazina Ambala. The next time meeting, topics that we discuss at the page la pona. The pozozo. Nine bonatas are wabe. Gizatabal. The renter credits. That a bundle. Yes, it's a meeting. Pozozo. Said Hanley Cabana. Okay. Before the king, I want to impose Farapa, Mr. Abura, and Yorkia. English technical man is not sitting young and teaching inside is never. Farapa, Mr. Daniel, a consum to come my get us some. La England time, what is in Farapa, Gurenɛ Wikipedia group members are big. The several into contest, like the several editor in the Wikipedia. City digitize language like Zala. We say thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's put more hands on board. We haven't gone anywhere at all in the Wikipedia. We haven't gone anywhere yet. So I beg that let's all come on board and let Gurenɛ grow as other languages have. Gurenɛ to the world. Okay. Let me go to this thing. It's like, okay. People are commenting. It was good to learn something. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. A standing reset. Thanks. Okay. Someone comment like the pozozo. So who said Katasala? Mr. Daniel Abure, the Ben Motasala will be.
Oh, but to express gratitude to everyone who has made it to our first ever episode, joining the discussion. This is the reason for Gurenɛ Wikimedia Community coming into place, that together as volunteers we're able to come up with our resources, our expertise, and discuss things concerning us, looking at how to build on our language, our heritage, and everything that pertains to us. For so I mean, the class of the song to let the song called Pokame, the song of Pato, Salamin, in the down was second to not to be here, or be young resolving color. So the day salate, the minute the soul them was this as a wabla, but me it not is a $100. Na England is $100. So the nanka unanta bottom. But tina in salala, minute while zote there are tales of Gurenɛ heritage. It kama tina la one ana. So kusaza wati tarala, salati ka box na wabla, ni sokti sunla. The minute I started passing, the minute it passed. The minute it so Victoria le akakiri ilete tinayang ingene part 2, part 3. Wala nang song ne. Akakiri ilete the bonnet to present a lot 5 minutes, then 35 minutes for questions, so that the young boy you of young so Your feedback to be man revise it note. Then the next presentation, we see how best to get the best of the presenters, the best of resource persons, and every one of that comes on board. So thank you so much. We appreciate your feedback and your input. And thank you so much, Amorama, for moderating the session today. Thank you, Daniel Asumakolgo, for sharing with us insights on your research. So if you have questions, if you want to follow up, reach out to Daniel Asumakolgo. He's on our WhatsApp platform. We'll be tagging him and applauding him for the work done today. So if you're not on Gurenɛ Wikimedia Community, you can reach us on showing the number shortly in the comment section. You can reach out to me via phone, just communicate with me, and we'll look at how best we can come together as a community to do something. Because Gurenɛ is beyond you and I. Gurenɛ is beyond everyone that we live here. We came to meet it, we'll go and live it, and people will come to continue it. But the best thing is that we are going to explore Gurenɛ heritage one story at a time. Thank you so much for coming through, and we hope to see you. So this episode is going to be uploaded. We'll upload this episode onto our SoundCloud, we'll upload to our YouTube, our Facebook. So be on the lookout for the link, and this is to help you also learn more about your Gurenɛ. You can suggest to us the topics you want us to look at. You can send the questions to me via SMS or WhatsApp. We'll look at them, we'll review them, and maybe the topic you suggested might be the next thing we'll be discussing in Tales of Gurenɛ Heritage. Thank you so much for making it to the first episode. Thank you, Amorama, for a great moderation. And thank you, Daniel Asuma, for your, and to all our great participants. We appreciate your time and your effort. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Okay, to process. Well, on this note,
it starts with music. You're waiting for the song before we leave. Thank you.
Okay. You want a song? You can start dancing wherever you are. Just listen. I would like to see some faces too. I don't know. Who face available for me to see?